Picture this. You're living in a world where nations are banding together, rewriting the rules of global finance. And Singapore, one of the most powerful financial hubs in the world, wants in. But China and Russia, two of the biggest players in this global game, say, "No, thank you." What's going on here? Why would China and Russia, key architects of BRICS, block a nation like Singapore from joining the bloc? Stick around, because the answer could change everything you thought you knew about global power. To understand why China and Russia might not want Singapore to join BRICS, we must first explore Singapore's historical context. Since gaining independence in 1965, Singapore has faced significant challenges, none more pronounced than its relationship with Malaysia. The two countries share not only a geographical border, but also a complex history marked by conflict and competition. Singapore's separation from Malaysia was driven by cultural, economic, and political differences that remain relevant today. For instance, as noted by Professor Kevin Y.L. Tan from the National University of Singapore, the split was as much about identity as it was about governance. Singapore had to carve its own path to ensure survival. This historical tension fostered a deep-rooted commitment to maintaining an independent foreign policy, emphasizing self-reliance and a pragmatic approach to international relations. This independence is more than just a matter of pride. It's essential for Singapore's survival in a region fraught with geopolitical tensions. As tensions in the South China Sea escalate and the influence of larger powers grows, Singapore must navigate these waters carefully. But what does this mean for its potential BRICS membership? Singapore's foreign policy has historically been aligned with Western powers, particularly the United States. This alignment stems from its strategic location and economic interests. The city-state is home to many multinational corporations and serves as a significant financial hub for Western businesses looking to access Asian markets. This Western alignment creates friction when discussing Singapore's potential membership in BRICS. China and Russia view this alignment as a threat. As noted by geopolitical analyst Dr. Alexander D. Karpov, Singapore's close ties with the West could be perceived as an attempt to undermine the BRICS agenda, which seeks to create an alternative power bloc independent of Western influence. In practical terms, this means that if Singapore were to join BRICS, it could complicate the delicate balance of power within the group. Could Singapore be the conduit through which Western interests penetrate BRICS, undermining its core objectives? It's a question that looms large in the minds of both Russia and China. If you're enjoying our content, please like and subscribe. Your support helps us grow. Thank you. Economically, Singapore's dependency on Western multinationals further complicates its position. According to a report from the Monetary Authority of Singapore, over 70% of foreign direct investment in the city-state comes from Western companies. This economic reality ties Singapore's prosperity to Western interests, creating a reluctance to alienate those partners. This dependency shapes its foreign policy decisions. When the United States imposed sanctions on Russia, Singapore was quick to follow suit, banning trade with Russian entities. This swift action was not merely a moral stance. It was a reflection of its economic interests and the significant pressure it faces from Western allies. As noted by former Singaporean Foreign Minister Vivian Balakrishnan, "We are a small country, and we must make choices that ensure our survival and prosperity." This commitment to Western interests raises a critical question. How would joining BRICS align with this policy? Singapore's position as a financial hub relies heavily on its reputation as a reliable partner for Western businesses. Joining a bloc that includes countries like Russia and China could tarnish that reputation. But if Singapore wants to navigate the shifting geopolitical landscape effectively, it might need to rethink its alliances. Singapore's support for sanctions against Russia in the wake of the Ukraine crisis is a case in point. The city-state swiftly aligned itself with the West, implementing measures to restrict trade and financial ties with Russian entities. This decision was rooted in both moral considerations and economic pragmatism. Moscow's response was swift and sharp. Russian officials criticized Singapore's actions, labeling them as hostile and detrimental to bilateral relations. In a statement, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov remarked, "Singapore's decision to follow Western sanctions is unfortunate. It only serves to highlight the divides in global politics. This situation illustrates the delicate balancing act Singapore must perform." While it seeks to maintain its economic ties with Western powers, it risks alienating potential partners in the East. As tensions rise, how long can Singapore continue to walk this tightrope? Another layer to this issue lies in Singapore's military and defense partnerships with Western nations. Singapore hosts joint military exercises and training programs with the US and its allies, solidifying its role as a key player in regional security. This military alignment not only enhances its defense capabilities, but also reinforces its ties to the West. However, this commitment to Western defense raises eyebrows among BRICS nations. China and Russia may view these partnerships as a direct challenge to their influence in the region. In a recent report from the Asia-Pacific Security Studies Journal, experts warned that Singapore's military alignment with the West could act as a barrier to its integration into BRICS, where the focus is on mutual support and cooperation among member states. This military dynamic presents a significant dilemma for Singapore. Can it maintain its defense partnerships while pursuing potential membership in a bloc that seeks to counter Western hegemony? The stakes are high, and the answer remains elusive. Despite Singapore's impressive economic performance, with a GDP per capita exceeding $85,000, both Russia and China harbor reservations about its potential membership in BRICS. The crux of the issue lies in the perception that Singapore's inclusion could disrupt the delicate balance within the group. Russia and China view BRICS as a counterweight to Western dominance, and Singapore's close ties to the West could undermine that mission. As Dr. Hu Zhang, a China-based political analyst, pointed out, inclusion of Singapore could shift BRICS' focus from being an alternative to Western influence to a platform for Western interests. This perspective raises important questions. How much does economic success matter in the realm of geopolitics? Will the benefits of including a thriving economy like Singapore outweigh the potential risks? As both sides consider these questions, the implications for Singapore are profound. Joining BRICS is not just a matter of economic opportunity, it also entails significant risks. If Singapore were to join, it might face backlash from its Western partners, who could view the move as a betrayal. This could result in diminished economic support and a potential loss of foreign investment. Moreover, Singapore's entry could invite scrutiny from other ASEAN nations. As noted by political scientist Dr. Rina Wong, the regional dynamics would shift dramatically. Countries like Malaysia and Indonesia may question their own relationships with Singapore, potentially leading to greater regional instability. What does this mean for Singapore? The city-state prides itself on being a stable and secure haven for investment and business. However, aligning itself with BRICS could jeopardize that reputation, leading to a loss of confidence among investors and partners. Singapore's commitments to the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, further complicate its relationship with BRICS. As a founding member, Singapore has championed ASEAN's principles of cooperation and non-interference. This commitment is central to its identity as a regional leader. However, this dedication to ASEAN presents a paradox. As other ASEAN nations express interest in joining BRICS, Singapore may feel compelled to reconsider its stance. If countries like Thailand and Malaysia align themselves with China through BRICS, Singapore could find itself isolated in a rapidly changing regional landscape. This tension is palpable. As Dr. Tan Cheng Bok, a prominent Singaporean politician, stated, "We must not lose sight of our regional identity. Aligning with BRICS could lead to a fragmentation of ASEAN, something we cannot afford." So, how does Singapore balance its ASEAN commitments while navigating the complex world of BRICS? The answer lies in its ability to foster regional unity while maintaining its independence. The interest of other Southeast Asian nations in BRICS adds another layer to this complex narrative. Countries like Thailand and Malaysia have been vocal about their desire to explore membership, driven by the economic and political advantages that come with being part of a larger bloc. For these nations, BRICS represents an opportunity to counterbalance Western influence and assert their independence. Malaysia's Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim recently expressed this sentiment, stating, "Joining BRICS could enhance our economic ties and provide us with greater leverage in international affairs." However, this burgeoning interest raises questions about the future of ASEAN. Will member states prioritize national interests over regional unity? The potential for fragmentation looms large, and Singapore must tread carefully. The alignment of ASEAN countries with China through BRICS carries inherent risks. For instance, nations that strengthen their ties with China may find themselves embroiled in conflicts over territorial disputes in the South China Sea or caught in China's growing influence in regional governance. Experts caution that this alignment could lead to a loss of autonomy and increased dependency on China. As political analyst Dr. Rajiv Kumar warns, Southeast Asian nations must be wary of becoming pawns in a larger geopolitical game. Aligning too closely with China could lead to significant compromises on their sovereignty. For Singapore, which has long emphasized its sovereignty and independence, this poses a significant challenge. How can it navigate these waters while maintaining its own identity? The internal dynamics within BRICS cannot be overlooked. The rivalry between China and India poses significant challenges to the bloc's expansion. As both countries vie for influence, the question of who gets to join becomes contentious. For example, China's push for expanding BRICS to include countries that align with its strategic interests could face resistance from India, which may see this as a direct threat to its own influence in the region. This rivalry complicates Singapore's potential membership, as it could be viewed as a pawn in a larger game of power. As Dr. Anil Kumar from the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade observes, BRICS must navigate these internal dynamics carefully. Including new members like Singapore could disrupt the balance of power within the group. So, what's next for Singapore? The city-state stands at a crossroads, with choices that could redefine its future in the ever-changing landscape of global politics. The question remains, what will Singapore choose to do? The delicate interplay between historical context, economic realities, and geopolitical tensions paints a complex picture. As we've explored, Singapore's independence and foreign policy decisions will play a critical role in shaping its future. While the city-state has carved a niche as a global financial hub, its potential entry into BRICS raises significant questions about identity, alignment, and the broader implications for the region. We're glad you're enjoying this video. Please like and subscribe. Check out another video that is now on your screen.